The Trader's Crucible, 10 Psychological Principles for Mastering the Markets. Have you ever seriously considered quitting trading? That day your stop loss was hit once again, and as you closed your screens you whispered to yourself, maybe I am just not cut out for this. But then, without telling a soul, you found yourself right back in front of the charts the very next day. Why? Because somewhere deep inside a stubborn ember of belief still glowed a conviction that you can do this. Yet with every loss that self-doubt creeps back in, you start questioning, is it my fault or is it just bad luck? In trading, defeat isn't merely financial, it's the shattering of hope, the erosion of self-confidence, and a nagging voice that insists give it up. You'll never make it. But this is precisely where the real battle begins. This is the internal war that world-renowned trading coach, Brett Steenbarger, masterfully exposes. He makes one thing abundantly clear. The market is not your enemy. Your reactions to the market are. This understanding marks the start of a profound journey, one that will change your mindset far more than it will change how you read a chart. Today we will uncover the 10 secret principles from the art of trading. These are not mere tips. They are the foundational pillars without which no trading system, no matter how sophisticated, can endure. These are the principles Brett has just written about in books. He has lived them, witnessing them transform the lives of hundreds of professional traders. These principles aren't about charts, indicators, or patterns. They are about your mind, your fears, and your identity. If you are tired of losing, if you've lost faith in yourself, then perhaps these 10 principles have arrived to reunite you with the trader you were always meant to be. But be warned, these are not ordinary rules. Ignore even one, and your trading journey may never reach its full $1,000,000 potential. These are 10 locks, and each principle is the key to the next. Lose one key, and the door may never open. Listen closely, because today you might learn what no one has ever truly taught you. Principle 1. Know thyself. This sounds deceptively simple, yet it is the very link that 90% of traders never truly grasped. Believe me when I say that until you understand yourself, no indicator, no strategy, and no guru can ultimately help you. Brett Steenbarger wrote, the most successful traders don't just master markets, they master themselves. This is the fundamental difference between an average trader and a master trader. So what does knowing yourself truly mean? It means having a deep, intimate awareness of your psychological triggers. When do you tend to panic? When are you quick to succumb to greed? At what times does your mind remain cool and logical, and when does it ignite with impulsive emotion? The market doesn't break you. Your own deeply ingrained habits, repeated daily without conscious thought, are what lead to your downfall. If you aren't asking yourself, why am I taking this trade? Is this my setup or is this my emotion? Before you click the button, then you are not losing to the market, you are losing to your own automated behaviors. Brett observes that inconsistent traders often lack self-awareness. They think it's the market, but it's usually themselves. Think about it. How many times have you crafted a brilliant trade plan only to shatter it the moment real pressure arrived? Why? Because fear took over, greed shouted louder, or you allowed someone else's opinion to shake your conviction. This is precisely where self-awareness becomes your most critical tool. A good trader performs a pre-trade self-scan. What is my mood today? Am I under stress? Am I trading out of a desire for revenge? Because as Brett states, your emotional state becomes your trading state. If you are broken inside, no external strategy, no matter how perfect, can prevent you from slipping. Therefore, the first principle commands, read yourself before you read the charts. And this self-reading isn't a one-time task. It is a ritual, a daily practice you must perform before every trading session. How? Maintain a detailed journal after every trade note, not just the P&L, but what you felt in that moment. Document your losses and your wins with brutal honesty. It may be bitter, but this journal will become your most truthful mirror. Brett advises traders who journal their thoughts become traders who understand their patterns, and the one who understands their patterns holds the power to break them. Remember, the most important setup in the market is UNT on any chart. It is the person sitting in front of the screen. It is you if you do know yourself. Every trade is a gamble. But if you truly understand yourself, every trade can become a deliberate step toward the destiny you once quietly dreamed of. This principle teaches you to befriend yourself before you face the market. When you comprehend your own mind, moods, and madness, you can finally hear the market's voice, clear and undistorted by your internal noise. Because the true trading edge is hidden in the quiet clarity of your own thinking. Principle 2. Embrace the process, not the outcome. This is the principle that breaks thousands of traders from the inside out, yet very few understand its true cause. It states, fall in love with the process, not the profits. Master the process, not the payout. Brett Steenbarger explains. When your focus is on outcomes, emotions take over. When your focus is on the process, mastery begins. Now think carefully. Have you ever noticed a day where you made great money and your mood was on cloud 9? The next day with the same strategy and the same setup you took a loss and suddenly your entire confidence was shaken. Why? Because you began basing your self-worth, your energy and your value on the profit and loss statement. But remember, friend, profit is your goal, but the process is your path, and if the path is flawed, even if you reach the destination once, you will never be able to stay there. Brett notes that chasing profits leads to chasing trades, but mastering the process leads to becoming a trader worth following. Here is the crucial mindset difference. The trader chasing profit asks every day, how much did I make today? The trader living by the process asks, did I follow my rules today? Was my entry, exit, and risk management professional? Brett puts it succinctly, your P&L tells you the result. Your process tells you the truth. When you only look at the result, you blind yourself to the truths that could transform you. Ask yourself, how many times have you made a profit by breaking your own rules and then thought, see, I was right? That kind of win doesn't teach you. It misleads you, and one day that same mistake will transform into a catastrophic loss. The most powerful aspect of this principle is this: love your process because it is your spine. A good trader can smile even after a loss if they followed their rules, because they know that if their process remains strong, a loss is just a number, a tuition fee for a valuable lesson. Brett's work with professional traders revealed that the best traders are performance artists. They do not play for applause. They play for execution. Profit arrives like applause, but true satisfaction comes from the flawless execution of the craft. This is why trading is called an art. You are painting a new masterpiece every day with the brush of your mindset, discipline, and routine. If your art depends solely on profit, your focus will waver, but if your art is anchored in the process, you will improve every single day, regardless of the outcome. So the next time you sit down to trade, do UNT, ask how much money will I make today? Instead ask, can I operate like a professional today? Can I remain steadfast to my rules? If the answer is yes, then whether the trade wins or loses, you are victorious because you were loyal to your system. And that very loyalty will in the end bring millions into your account. Remember, the market changes, but your process must remain stable. Your process can save you from the very storm that sinks others. Principle 3. Don't run from fear. Read it. We now arrive at the third principle, which confronts trading's greatest enemy. One that is invisible on your screen but secretly controls every decision you make. Its name is fear. In this principle, we will learn not to destroy fear but to understand it. Because until you learn to read your fear, it will defeat you every single time, but not anymore. Brett Steenbarger says fear is not your enemy, it's your feedback. And this is the absolute truth. Fear is an alarm system, not an adversary. Our biggest mistake is that as soon as we feel fear, we look away. Fear whispered, do not take this trade, and we heard you are weak. Fear said, something doesn't feel right, and we agreed, I do not have the courage. But friends, the language of fear is not terrifying. It is profound. Brett writes, every emotional reaction is a message from your brain. Fear often highlights risk you have unprepared for. So when fear arises, it doesn't necessarily mean you are wrong. You need to ask, did I plan this trade with complete clarity? Am I carrying baggage from a past loss? Is my position size too large? Fear never lies. We are the ones who misinterpret its message. This is the juncture where a novice trader and a true trader part ways. The novice suppresses the fear, turns up the volume, closes their eyes, and takes the trade. The true trader writes that fear in their journal, questions its origin, and prepares accordingly, so that next time that fear becomes advice, not an obstacle. Brett teaches that if you can learn the pattern of your fears, you can program your preparation, and that is the real game. The goal isn't to kill fear in the market. It's to manage it now. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever taken a bad trade simply because you were afraid of missing out? FOMO. That isn't just fear. It's an addiction to validation and comparison. When that fear starts making your decisions, trading stops and gambling begins. Brett's research shows that emotional hijacking happens when fear and greed dominate your prefrontal cortex. In that state, logic takes a back seat. When fear overpowers you, your most crucial strength, your ability to think, retreats. This is the moment we break our systems, abandon our strategies, and open the door to losses. Therefore, the third principle instructs, make fear a dialogue, not a dictator. Don't run from it. Sit down and talk to it. Ask it, why have you come? If it says because you are unprepared, then prepare. If it says because you broke your rules last time, then cling to your rules now. Fear is not your enemy, it is your teacher, and if you understand your fear, consider the market's biggest monster has become your ally. Those who befriend their fear cannot be shaken by any greed or any loss. Brett writes, self-awareness transforms fear into foresight. When fear is recognized, it becomes a protector, not a destroyer. So the next time fear appears, question it: is this fear coming from within me or from external noise? Am I afraid of the loss or of my reputation? When you get the answer, clarity will follow, and clarity is the light that separates a trader from the crowd. Principle 4. Redefine loss. Now we talk about the word every trader fears, runs from, and yet inevitably confronts. Loss, but Brett Steenbarger reframes it. A loss is only a failure when nothing is learned from it. A loss is never a true defeat. True defeat occurs when you learn nothing from that loss. Think, has there been a time when after a loss you started berating yourself? I am an idiot, I am an idiot, I'll never be a good trader, or perhaps you blamed the market. The system isn't working, but wait, did you read the story behind that loss? Was your entry valid? Did you plan your stop loss? Did you overtrade without thinking? Understand there are two kinds of losses. 1. Educated losses, where you lost while faithfully following your system. 2. Emotional losses, where you lost because you broke rules out of anger, fear, or greed. Brett distinguishes them perfectly. Good losses are the tuition fees of trading, bad losses are interest on ego. A good loss teaches you something, a bad loss is merely a penalty for your arrogance. Now imagine if after every loss you sat down and wrote 5 key points. What went right, what went wrong, etc. After 30 days you would possess a manual no course or YouTube channel could ever give you. Brett's research found that top traders journaled their losses more religiously than their wins. Why? Because they know profit is just a number, but a loss is a teacher. If you are willing to learn, every loss reveals a weakness within you and offers you a chance to upgrade. But if you are filled with ego, every loss will devour your confidence. This is the real turning point. Loss doesn't come to break you, it comes to refine you. Brett states, if you can embrace loss as a necessary companion, you can disarm its emotional impact. The day you stop seeing loss as an enemy, its power over you vanishes. Imagine what would happen if the next time you took a loss, you smiled and said, "Thank you, now I will become better." Believe me, from that day your growth as a trader will multiply tenfold because you no longer fear losing. You learn from it. This is the professional trader mindset. When a great trader incurs a loss, they don't rush to change their system, they scan their own mind. Was I tired? Was my focus right? Was I under external stress? Because as Brett says, your trading performance is not separate from your life performance. You trade who you are. Therefore, a loss is not just the market story. It is your story, and if you honestly maintain a loss diary, that diary will one day become your success. Manual Principle 5. Consistency is the real profit. We now approach a principle that is simple to hear but profound in its application. The 5th principle reveals that consistency is the real profit because the market rewards your daily correct decisions more than your occasional big wins. Brett Steenbarger clarifies, consistency is not about doing the same thing. It's less about thinking the same way under all conditions. Consistency doesn't mean trading every day. It means maintaining a stable mindset and process through every market environment. Imagine chaos in the markets. Twitter is abuzz with conflicting opinions. One sector is rocketing, another is crashing. Can you remain calm? Can you hold on to your setups, your rules, and execute a trade? If yes, you are consistent. If not, this principle can be life-changing. Brett believes that consistency is not a gift, it's a habit, and habits are built in silence, not in hype. Profit comes not just from your strategy but from your habits. Ask yourself, do you review every trade? Do you have a morning preparation routine? Do you bring the same mindset to trading every day? Or do you arrive each time with new fears and new greed? Consistency means the same mind, the same preparation, the same commitment day in and day out. It is this habit that transforms an average trader into an elite one. Steenbarger writes, your best trading comes from your best routines, not from your best guesses. Confusion thrives where there is no routine. Remember, the market won't give you a profit every day, but if you operate with unwavering consistency every day, the results at the month's end will erase all your doubts. Brett observes the most profitable traders are not those who make the biggest trades but those who make the same best trades again and again. It is those who repeat the right actions who compound their profits. This is where 90% of traders give up. Why? Because consistency feels boring. The daily chart analysis following the same setups, filling the logbook, it lacks the thrill of a new trade. But friends, it is this very boring work performed daily that prompts the market to start delivering exciting profits. Brett Steenbarger's powerful quote sums it up. Repetition builds confidence, confidence builds discipline, and discipline builds wealth. Consistency breeds confidence, confidence fosters discipline, and discipline constructs lasting wealth. Imagine if you just held on to one strategy and executed it daily without second-guessing for 1 week, 1 month, 6 months. What would you have gained? You wouldn't have just made money. You would have mastered yourself, and that is the trader the market itself rewards. See you in the next video.